Welcome to Hub City TV, a USM student news magazine production. We're your source to what's happening around the Pine Belt. I'm your host, Emily DeVoe. In this week's show, a DUI may not be as permanent as you think, and a class at Southern Miss that takes place underwater. But first, Governor Phil Bryant recently signed the Religious Freedom Bill into law. The law allows individuals and organizations to sue the government over laws they feel inhibit their ability to practice religion. Opposing sides of the new law feel strongly about the effect it will have on Mississippians. Reporter Andrew Higginbottom tells us more.
It became the 19th state to vote in the Religious Freedom Act, but what will it change? Local business owner John Neal doesn't feel it'll affect too much.
We're going to run our business the same we've always run it. We're accepting to all groups of people. We've got a wonderful customer base, and it will not affect us at all.
State Representative Toby Barker declined an interview but gave a written statement saying this bill creates slippery slopes on all fronts, and that should be of great concern for any Mississippian, whether they are conservative, liberal, or something in between. Local advocacy group If You're Buying, We're Selling feels the same way, and member Brittany Roel feels we should be going forward, not backwards.
The Mississippi that we are becoming, not the Mississippi that we were, and that we aren't stuck in the 1950s.
I reached out to Senator John Polk, who introduced the bill, as well as the author of the bill, Senator Philip Gandy.
Hi, my name's Andrew Higginbottom.
Both declined an interview on camera about the bill that they put in motion. Local resident Matt Lambert did speak to me, and he feels the bill will not be used to discriminate for any religious purpose.
It seems like it will affect local businesses at all. If the bill were about discrimination, I would not agree with it, obviously.
The Religious Freedom Act, which also adds the words, "In God We Trust" to the state seal, will go into place July 1st. For Hub City TV, I'm Andrew Higginbottom.
But some Mississippi laws aren't such a hot topic. In fact, many Pine Belt residents don't even know they exist. For instance, you can be fined up to $100 for using this in public.
I think that the correct answer here would be cocaine, meth,
taser,
a toothbrush, drugs.
Actually, in Mississippi, you can be fined up to $100 for using profanity in public.
Oh, sorry.
And in the state, it's illegal to teach others about this.
Sex, any of the 10 commandments, stealing.
You can't teach people about things?
Apparently, it's illegal to teach others about polygamy in Mississippi.
I don't know what that is. Okay, of course, that makes much more sense. That's our very first amendment. Like, that's number one.
A year ago, it was also illegal to homebrew or sell beer with higher than 5% alcohol content. Changing these laws in Mississippi opened up the doors for the craft beer industry. Christy Shelley has the story.
It's very important for people to understand that beer is not simply Bud Miller or Coors.
The second annual Hattiesburg Craft Beer Festival attracted thousands downtown on Saturday. The festival started after Governor Phil Bryant signed 2 craft beer bills into law. One in 2012 allowing for a higher alcohol percentage in beer, and another in 2013 legalizing home brewing. Straight to Ale brewer Drew Stanford says he's happy to finally have his beer in the state.
It's great that Free the Hops has been able to help change some legislation to allow good beer to come into the state.
Patron Josh Sullivan says the 2 laws have helped create a craft beer market in Mississippi.
It brings in variety. That's what defines a market, is the amount of options available to the consumer. So both of those allow different markets to blossom.
Lazy Magnolia brand manager Granston Box says passing the 2 laws sparked the craft beer movement in Mississippi.
It allows breweries now in Mississippi to produce a lot of the styles that other breweries outside of the state can. It restricted a lot of the different things, a lot of different styles that were on the table.
Just 2 short years ago, the event couldn't happen. However, this year it featured more than 40 breweries and hundreds of different types of beer. For Hub City TV, I'm Christy Shelley.
While the craft beer industry grows in Mississippi, another alcohol staple could disappear. In our next story, I'll tell you what may be missing from your local liquor store.
Delicious. At your next dinner party, you might see more of this and hear less of this.
And the lack of cork bottles for sale leads some wine drinkers to believe the world is simply running out.
Yeah, there's a cork shortage actually around the world. And it used to be if wine was screw on top, it was kind of a low quality wine, but that's not the case anymore at all.
The decrease in cork bottles has less to do with the amount of cork available and more with the vintner's efforts for quality products.
Well, the screw cap is the best manufacturer closure that you can actually get. So it basically is the perfect cork.
We don't use corks simply because we believe that we get better quality from the screw caps.
Cork bottles pose a threat of tainting the wine with a chemical called trichloronisol. Although it's not harmful to your health, it can leave your wine tasting less like fresh grapes and more like wet cardboard. And that's not a risk one vineyard is willing to take.
Corks can have a failure rate up to about 12%, which in any other industry would be completely not allowable, basically. And I always use the analogy, it's a lot like planes landing on a runway, and if 12% of planes didn't land on a runway, there wouldn't be too many people fly, basically.
So while traditional cork bottles may soon become a thing of the past, quality wine will continue to flow into your glass.
On a more serious note, alcohol does have a deadlier side. The CDC reveals 90,000 people die in the U.S. every year because of drinking excessively. That makes alcohol the third leading lifestyle-related cause of death in the nation. Of those deaths, a large portion of them come from driving under the influence. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says these account for over 30% of traffic deaths. But intoxicated drivers who get behind the wheel may soon be able to erase a DUI off their record. Hillary Stepney tells us more on this development.
While under the influence can mean numerous fines, time in jail, and, attorney Robert Whitaker says,
it can get pretty expensive. A lawyer fee usually starts at no less than $1,000. The fine, it can be up to $1,000 just for the DUI.
A DUI isn't just expensive. It can also prevent you from holding certain job titles and can even get you terminated from your current job.
Even if you got non-adjudicated, it's still going to show that you were arrested for that charge, so you got to get your record expunged. It doesn't matter if it's a misdemeanor or a felony. If it's on your record, it can preclude you from holding certain positions and holding certain licenses in the state of Mississippi.
But for people who already have a DUI on record, there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
As of July the 1st, people who blew below .16 can actually have their record expunged for a DUI. This is a first, and it is a significant change in the law that will allow someone to not have a DUI conviction haunt them for the rest of their lives.
Remember, if you drink, don't drive. It could cost you more than just a ticket. I'm Hillary Stepney for Hub City TV.
Coming up after the break, find out what dangers lurk in the seafood aisle.